From 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
Party, baby.
This is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
It's a party,
on
baby.
94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. Woo! It's a party, baby.
Scalzo and Brust live from Magoo's on the mound on Blue Mountain here. Getting ready for Brewers baseball tonight. Packers football tonight. Come on down. Hang out with us at Magoo's on the mound. I'm Greg Scalzo. No Ben Brust today. Once again, your cousin sub of the day, Brad Nortman. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Back again. Day 2, Brad.
Thanks for having me back. I didn't scare you away too much. And here we are getting ready for the Packers' first game of the season. I know it doesn't count on the win-loss for the whole season, but darn it, I'm excited.
I think everybody should be excited. Josh DiMaggio, of course, running the show back at the Gruber Law Office, One Call That's All studios. Downtown at the 3rd Street Market Hall, we got Alex G, the G-Man, helping us out at the Everlight Solar Studios in Madison. And a lot of times, I think, for Packers fans, preseason tends to be a little bit boring, right? Rodgers traditionally wouldn't play. A lot of your stars wouldn't play, especially post that Jordy Nelson injury. The Packers seems to be more conservative than most teams after what happened to Jordy in preseason. And usually you go into the season every year, historically in the Rodgers era, saying, okay, we should win the division. Call me when the playoffs come to figure out what this Packers team is. This year, 4 guys 27 or older, first-year quarterback. You got your entire pass-catching core that is first- or second-year guys. This is exciting, I think.
Most anticipated Packer preseason game since 2008. I'm not sure there was even a question about that, because you're totally right. We usually had a veteran-laden crew with the Green Bay Packers, and because of that, when you're a veteran, I'd say once you get to year 4 or more, you treat preseason a little bit different. When you're 3 or under, those reps just feel so valuable, and it just feels good to get into a rhythm. Everybody has their own approach to preseason, but these young guys, they're feeling the nerves right now. I can guarantee you that. And Jordan Love, he's got a steady hand, but I guarantee he's feeling the pressure now with the QB1 spotlight firmly on his back.
Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone's going to be paying attention to is, right, what is this offense doing? What does Jordan Love do? How does he look in terms of his timing with some of these young pass catchers? I don't anticipate, right, that they're going to be pounding the rock too much. This should be a good opportunity for them to get some work in. Now, Brad, you spent time in the NFL with the Jaguars, with the Panthers. How much, Joshy and I had a big argument about this not too long ago, where he was talking about how he doesn't know how valuable those preseason reps are because they're not very, because they're not at the same speed as you get in the regular season. And a lot of teams now, especially offenses, aren't willing to show their hand and run sort of the full offense. How valuable do you think it is for Jordan Love and some of the young offensive players in particular to get work in tonight?
Incredibly important, incredibly valuable. Everything about the NFL season is characterized by progression, right? I mean, you show up day 1, there's no pads, then you put the pads on. You work through training camp, it's family night. You get to family night, it's preseason. There's a bit of just a dialed up bit of excitement and juice and aggression and importance with each and every step. And so there's really no week 1 without the first few weeks of the preseason. And because of that, and because this team is so young, to have these guys feel a game-like atmosphere, it can't be replicated. I know that there's a lot of talk out there about the importance of these joint practices, and there's a place for that for sure, but nothing can replicate a game. When you're putting on the game jersey, there's fans there, not a lot of fans there, but there's fans there, and the game rhythm is just so different to feel what it's like to go out there and do a series, 3 plays, 10 plays, and then go sit for 15 minutes. It's just, there's rhythms about it that can only be experienced in a game, and then even with that, facing a guy That's not your teammate across from you. It's the closest thing you can get to a game. If anything, I thought it was harder in college. When you're playing for Wisconsin, you just do 4 weeks of camp, and then bam, live bullets. Bullets. So I think these guys will be able to take a lot from this. And look, no overreactions. Let's try not to overreact, everybody, no matter how good or how bad it goes. But this is an important progression in it. And I'm excited to see Jordan Love, yes. He's kind of like a pseudo-vet. Like, what is he? He's not a rookie. He's not a veteran, though, right?
No, he's a first-year starter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a fourth-year guy who's a first-year starter, which just doesn't happen often at that position especially, but in general in the NFL. Usually by your second or third year, if you're going to be a starter, you're starting.
Absolutely. And you look at C.J. Stroud from last night, right? He's kind of getting beaten up by the stat line. I think it was 2 for 4, 13 yards, and a pick six. I mean, and it just looked like the game was really fast for him. That should not be Jordan Love, right? I mean, there should be growth over the last 3 years. And from everything we've heard, there has been growth. So he should be able to take the field with a bit of confidence, a bit of poise, and be able to deliver and not look like a deer in the headlights, which a lot of guys fall prey to, even Jordan Love throughout the growth process.
Yeah, Brad Norman, Greg Scalzo hanging out here at Magoo's on the Mount. Scalzo and Brust, presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. I do wonder how much they're going to play him. And I know there was a conversation of, hey, is he going to be in there for a couple of series? Do you have him in there for the first quarter? Do you have him in there for the first half? How much work ultimately do you give him? I'm of the belief that, like, this is a great opportunity for him to skin his knees a little bit, for him to get some real game action. You're not going to see the defensive fronts that you will once you're actually in the regular season, and it'll feel a little bit different. But if he can build confidence, in my mind, during the preseason, then once you hit the regular season, you're just that much further along in the progression that you talk about. How much do you want to see Jordan play tonight?
I want to see a half. I would love to see a half. Throw the third game out. He's not going to play in the third game.
Yep.
That's going to be mostly prep time. So you really only get 2 games. And if he doesn't play a half this game, I don't think he's playing any more than a half a second game. So he's going to get less than a game in to be what the starting quarterback feels like. And it's more than a dress rehearsal. It really is. It's invaluable reps. And for him to be able to put his confidence on display, his poise on display, they're going to have a script, right? They're going to have a script to what the first 10, 15 plays are going to be. Everybody on the offense knows already what it is. And they're going to be throwing vanilla schemes at him. Nobody is actually scheming against the offense. What a perfect opportunity to complete some passes, get into rhythm, and build some confidence for week 1 when you're seeing all sorts of different things against the Chicago Bears. So I'd love to see a half. I think I'm going to see 1 quarter.
Yeah, I think we're going to get like 2 series.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I don't understand. Well, I do understand, because behind him is Mr. Magoo and Sean Clifford, so it's not like they're super confident in their backup quarterbacks right now. But I still think that, like, I would rather take that risk and get more and more experience with Jordan out there, and also with some of these young pass catchers like Luke Musgrave. I'm worried Packers fans are placing in unrealistic expectation on what he's going to be in year 1. Tight end's one of those positions where it seems like it takes 2, 3, 4 years sometimes for guys to really find their footing and succeed. He's a year 1 guy who's injured for most of last year in college, and I see a lot of Packers fans out there being like, oh, look out for Musgrave. He looks the part. I think he can develop into a really good player, but for him to get out there and get some real time with his quarterback at QB1, for Romeo Doubs and Christian Watt, like, I just feel like there could be really good productive things that happen if they spend time out there. I don't know how much we're going to see there, and I don't know how the reaction is going to be. You say, hey, let's not overreact. There's going to be overreaction.
Of course.
So what does success look like tonight for Jordan Love? I think you could look at the stat line, how the offensive drives actually go. Hill slings, which is a Joshie DiMaggio stat that he looks at, which is just, hey, a great ball. But for you, when you break down what success looks like tonight for Jordan Love in this offense, where do you start?
Well, I think the sample size is going to be so small that it's going to be hard to really dive into the stats and figure out, what was good, what was bad, what was his completion percentage, touchdown to interceptions. I'm not sure he's going to get either one of those tonight. So for me, it's more of an eye test. Does he look poised? Is he throwing the ball accurately? And is he being able to make decisive reads? I think if you can do those things as a passer, you're going to have success. It might not guarantee you're going to be great, but poise, balance, stability, accurate. I don't want to see one ball over the top of one guy's head and one ball in the dirt. Can't have that. Just a relatively high degree of accuracy and decisive, right? And I think that's the thing that young quarterbacks struggle with most is they're trying to read the defense. Everything's moving quickly. Things are disguised. They can't make reads and they can't decide. They're frozen back there. They're afraid. And I totally get it. I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. That's why I chose to be a punter. So can Jordan Love be decisive? Read one, read two, and just get the ball out. If he can do that this year, if he can take that, one building block tonight, I don't see why this team can't be competitive. I don't think they're going to be outstanding, but they should be able to be competitive. He can do those three things.
Yeah, I with that offensive line, those running backs, the defense is going to have to progress, I think, from last year. But you're right. I don't think you need to have Jordan Love be Aaron Rodgers, be an outstanding quarterback in order for the team to find success. But he definitely needs to play within the offense, play within himself, and not be the reason that they lose. Like, he doesn't need to be the reason they win every game, but he can't be the reason that they end up losing by turning the ball over. And, it's interesting when you bring such a much more realistic perspective, because I think even the idea of, like, getting the snaps off, getting the handoffs in the right place, making sure that your pre-snap motions are right, like those things that most fans don't think about, I immediately go to, all right, how's it going to look when he throws a 15-yard seam to Musgrave down the middle of the field? But, like, that's a little bit more once you get into the algebra and the pre-calculus, like even just mastering the addition and subtraction and multiplication and division is a massive hurdle for any young quarterback.
Well, absolutely. And this kind of goes with our conversation yesterday of D-Bach, kind of tongue-in-cheek talking about Jordan Love, but really getting down to the heart of it is just I want Jordan to be Jordan. I think part of that is don't try to be a hero. Don't try to be Aaron Rodgers. Like, just do you. And if you can just do the basics. So many quarterbacks in the NFL, they don't even do the basics. They're not worried about the center to quarterback exchange or the running back to quarterback exchange. And they're trying to do too much. They just can't make simple reads, take what the defense gives them. I think that's one of the things that Tom Brady did the best in his career. Whatever it was, he just took what the defense gave him. And honestly, that's one thing that I think separated him from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, man, he wanted that ball. He wanted that beautiful ball that only he could squeeze in there and, screw the check down. I'm not taking the check down. Tom Brady will take the check down. And man, Rodgers looks beautiful when he does it. But I just think you got to take what the defense gives you and just let the game come to you and let Jordan Love be Jordan Love. So maybe he should take D-Bach's advice.
Maybe he should, and I think that that's the advice that Aaron Rodgers has given him too. So we will see ultimately what Jordan Love looks like when all is said and done tonight. Now, you said you chose to be a punter. What position did you play in high school?
So I played linebacker and tight end.
Okay.
And
because you're a big guy.
Yeah, thank you. I still try to stay in shape, try to not be one of those, former NFL guys that lets themselves go, whatever. But I loved the game of football, and I loved linebacker and tight end way before I loved punting, right? Punting was just something I did because I was kind of tall and lanky and could just bludgeon the ball, if you will. But I really enjoyed linebacker. I got some, like, small crumbs from some smaller to mid-tier schools to play at the next level. But the moment I was like, holy cow, I can punt at Wisconsin for free. I need to hear no more. But I loved playing linebacker. There's actually a story from maybe another time. I broke a guy's helmet one time tackling him.
The story time is
running downhill. It was actually it was the state semifinal my junior year. And we were playing a Mike Taylor-led Ashwaubenon team. Mike Taylor ended up being a linebacker teammate at Wisconsin and played a little bit in the NFL. And he was great, obviously. And they had a quarterback, and they were sort of running like a quarterback dive. And I just read it. I don't know what it is. I have a few moments like that where I feel like Luke Kuechly, like yesterday. Like, you can just see it coming. And I just met him in the hole. And, in today's day and age where they're trying to decrease helmet to helmet, it was certainly helmet to helmet, didn't get called, and the dude's face mask broke. He had to go and get a new helmet. And I was like, that's right, son.
You got all fired up. The whole team went crazy.
That's right. And on our way to the state championship, lose, but on our way to the state championship. So it's in there. Now, the problem is you go to the NFL or even to college, and, you want to believe you're still that guy.
Yeah.
You're not. You're not. I mean, man, those guys are so fast. They're so strong. And I get humbled really quickly. And I humbly accept I am now only a punter. I am not on that level. High school, yes.
Still got those tight end hands, though, right?
Oh,
in the warm-ups.
Yeah. Hey, you holding, you catch the snap, you mold it. I'm an athlete.
He's an athlete. He is Brad Nortman, your cousin some of the day, in for Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. Scalzo and Brust live from Magoo's on the Mount on Blue Mount. Come on down. Enjoy some delicious food, some drinks. We got the Brewers game coming up a little bit later on as well. And, of course, they'll have the Packers on the TV as they open up the preseason. Homer joins us next. It's Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo, and Brust.
Bogdan Bogdanovic to Milwaukee for Dante DiVincenzo, DJ Wilson, and Ersan Ilyasova is in Peril? As there was never an agreement for the 28-year-old.
Have you ever heard someone say, in Pearl?
No. What is that? Guys.
Let's work on it. What could it possibly be?
Peril?
Nope.
Per aisle?
Nope.
Literally one more guess, and you guys better tell me, otherwise I'm walking out. Peril.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app and wherever you get your podcasts.
A full closure on 43 southbound at Good Hope Road. All lanes blocked southbound due to a crash. Looks like a serious one. We're already seeing some backups all the way past Brown Deer Road, but we're going to see a lot more backups from that one. Keeping an eye on a crash south of the city as well. 94 northbound, that crash about a mile beyond the ramp from Ryan Road, still blocking the left lane and causing some backups there. But the crash on 94 westbound in Waukesha County, that's the one a little bit beyond the ramp from Highway 164, is now moved off onto the right shoulder. We're starting to see the delays break up there, but we're still going to see some slowdowns and brake lights pretty much all the way back to the county line towards the Zoo interchange. Traffic is sponsored by the Big Backyard at Maddie's Bar and Grill. Check out the giant outdoor screen for watch parties and enjoy craft cocktails and featured menu items. Maddie'sBar.com for full details. Your forecast tonight, chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy and humid, a low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and warm with a high of 85. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
From the tee box to the green and everything golf-related in between.
Same thing with Xander and Cantlay. Like those four, because you know you're just going to pair them together. Like those four are safe on this Ryder Cup team. They're safe in 2 years on that Ryder Cup team.
On the tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson.
Like JT and Spieth are still your horses. Like they are still your first team out.
On the tee with Gabe and Steven, presented by Wisconsin Golf Trips. Mondays at 6 on 94.5 ESPN.
Woo! I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. Today on Ben's Beer Fridge, we're going with one of my favorites and getting in the fall spirit with the pride of Plover. That's Oso Brewing Company. Our guy Mark Buter is here to spread the Oktoberfest cheer as I crack open an Oso O-Fest and learn all about it.
Our Oktoberfest is very traditional lager beer, very easy drinking. But when it comes down to our Oktoberfest, we're real serious. I mean, Oktoberfest is Vienna, Munich, and Pilsen malt, and that's it. But by doing it really traditional and nice, people keep coming back. And it means that football's coming. And that's what's super exciting about Oktoberfest. It means football's right around the corner.
Thanks again to Oso Brewing Company owner Mark Butera for hopping on and telling us all about the Oso O-Fest. And remember, folks, whether it's hot summer months or the breezy fall weather, the fridge should always be stocked.
This is the year to buy the woman you love a big anniversary diamond.
What's a big anniversary diamond?
A big anniversary diamond is any diamond that's at least twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Why twice as big?
A big anniversary diamond says, I love you twice as much today as the day I married you.
People are always so happy when they see the price we can give them.
Kessler's has wonderful prices on 1 carat, carat and a half, 2 carat, and 3 carat big anniversary diamonds.
People will ask you about your big diamond everywhere you go.
So big anniversary diamonds are the hot new trend?
It began with men buying big anniversary diamonds for the women they love. But now it's gone to a whole new level.
Women are now buying big anniversary diamonds for their men.
Women are saying, two can play that game.
I like games that two can play.
Everybody likes games that two can play.
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Greg Scalzo for Smart Spaces. How can Smart Spaces transform your business?
The technology frustrations we hear about, hands down, ease of use. We take that complexity out of it and keep it down to the bare minimum of what they need and what they use. Our goal is to lend a level of simplicity that any knowledge level can walk into that room and at a glance know exactly how to turn that room on and utilize all of its features.
Let Smart Spaces transform your business today. Visit smartspaceswi.com.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and streaming live on Wisconsin On Demand.
One more time.
Scalzo and Brust, presented by the official beer of the NFL. No Ben Brust today. Brad Northman, your cousin sub of the day, cousin subs. We believe in better. We're hanging out here live at Magoo's on the Mound, on Blue Mound. Brewers game tonight. Pop on down, catch the shuttle over if you're going to the game. If you're not going to the game, it's going to be a fun bar here as Brewers fans come and go. And guess what? Right at 6 o'clock, you're going to get some Packers football.
Man, this is just the start of one of the best times of the year where you get overlap of really good sports. You get Brewers baseball. Yep. You're going to get Packers and Badgers. A little bit in October, you get Bucks. This fall season is so great. You got to love having Packers and Brewers on the TV at the same time, or being at Miller Park, or being at MFAM Field and like checking the Packers score. And I don't know, this is just a great time of year. What a time to be a sports fan.
Absolutely, and especially as these Brewers games become increasingly important.
Yes.
As they are running for the division here, Packers. I think also very important, and we don't say that often about the preseason, but with a brand new quarterback, with a very young roster, with an offense that I think Packers fans have. One of the things I've struggled with here, Brad, over the last year or so, as somebody who many fans would accuse of being overly pro Aaron Rodgers, is this idea of, well, if Aaron would have just run Matt LaFleur's offense, then this team would have been so much better. But nobody said that the previous 2 years when the offense was tops in the league and Aaron Rodgers was winning MVP awards. I do think that we're going to see more of what Matt LaFleur is bringing to the table as far as what his offense is with Jordan Love, because you have to anticipate Jordan Love is going to buy in and follow there. I don't know how much we'll see in preseason, but I think we'll start to see the seeds of sort of what they want to do.
Well, I'm excited for that too, because if you think of Matt LaFleur's coaching tree, he's in the same realm as Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan. You think of these guys as top offensive minds in the league. Not only that, those guys have had success no matter who their quarterback is, right? I mean, Sean McVay, yes, more successful with Matthew Stafford than Jared Goff, and Kyle Shanahan. I feel like he's still looking for that QB. Maybe it's Brock Purdy. I know he had Jimmy G having some success, but imagine him with an elite quarterback. Anyway, this will be able to show, is Matt LaFleur able to be in the same conversation as those guys that are in his cohort? And, when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, maybe you give up some independence for just outstanding elite quarterback play. I think most head coaches would take that deal.
You have to.
You have to. So I think he would look at it and say, okay, Aaron, change the play. Maybe I'm frustrated, but there's a 20-yard gain to Devontae in the early years, or in the most recent ones, maybe to a guy like Christian Watson.
And that was really almost like the identity of the offense for those 2 MVP years, was timing routes between Devontae and Aaron. Right. Aaron being super cerebral at the line of scrimmage, making, play calls, changing routes, all those things. Aaron Jones, obviously a big difference maker. But when you really boiled down to when that offense was clicking, it was, hey, you need a winning drive. Like, Aaron's going to find a way between him and Devontae to get it done. You don't have either of those guys now. You do have 2 really good running backs, and we know that Shanahan-McVay offense, right, is built really starting with the run game. You see Mike McDaniel even down in Miami. All those guys. I'm fascinated to see how all of this comes together this year, and if McVay can get Goff to a Super Bowl, you got to hope that at least Jordan Love is going to be put in a real position to succeed under Matt LaFleur.
Well, and that's why I think the Jordan Love just being Jordan Love advice is really good because, gosh, with Aaron Rodgers at the helm and an all-star receiver like Davante Adams, man, it covers up so many blemishes. And when you just look at what they were able to do in those peak offensive years, it's hard to know who's to attribute to that. Is it LaFleur? Is it Rodgers? There's a whole cast of characters you could look to and say who is deserving of the credit. Now you can look at it, and man, everybody else needs to step up because there's no safety net. There's no, hey, Rodgers, go be a hero. And with that being said, it was also a bit of a downfall for Rodgers,
full
right?
Closure on 43 southbound
to a full commitment to Davante Adams, right? And those moments where it was a fourth quarter drive, maybe forced it to him too much. Maybe didn't take all of his reads. But I would take those guys on my squad any time. But now is the time for Matt LaFleur to step it up. I wonder, you think he's excited? You think he's excited for that opportunity to be like, okay, I can actually put my fingerprints on this? Or do you think he's like, oh, gulp, here we go. I kind of missed what I had.
I think there's a mixture of both, right? I mean, he's kind of the man in the arena now. Like, if he's going to get exposed, it's going to be now. And whether that's exposed for, hey, he can actually do this without Aaron, or exposed as he can't do this without Aaron, we're going to learn more about Matt LaFleur this year. And I think if you're a real competitor, you sort of embrace it. But at the same time, if you remember when the Niners were borderline tampering, trying to get Aaron Rodgers to San Francisco, there is an element to it where, like, LaFleur was very protective. Like, don't go, and him and Kyle Shanahan, they talked about it, had a little bit of a rift. He didn't want to lose Aaron Rodgers because he also understood, to your point, that Aaron Rodgers in that Shanahan offense or Aaron Rodgers in the LaFleur offense should be great. And I do give Matt LaFleur credit for sort of this Rodgers renaissance, whether it was just because things got old and stale with McCarthy, whether it was a lack of trust or that relationship started to diminish. Aaron was a different guy once LaFleur took over. And he talked about in that 2019 season, Aaron did, not totally agreeing with or understanding what LaFleur was trying to get done. But after that year, Rodgers, LaFleur, Hackett being really direct and honest with each other about, okay, this is what I like, this is what I like. And sort of then in 2020 and 2021, working together to sort of meld what Aaron's comfortable with LaFleur's offense. And they were great. I mean, they broke records from red zone efficiency in 2020. And he won 2 MVP awards. Like, you have to give LaFleur credit for that. It's a different task to now say, okay, I'm not going to get a ton of what Love is comfortable with because the guy, quite frankly, hasn't played meaningful football in 3 years. Yeah. Now it's really, how do I put him in the best position to succeed? I do think those are two different skill sets for a coach. How do you bring out greatness in a Hall of Fame caliber player and be otherworldly versus how do you get this guy, this young quarterback, to grow and develop? We'll see if LaFleur has both skill sets under his umbrella.
Well, one thing that could be a beacon of hope for the Packers and for Matt LaFleur is that given everything that happened with Rodgers, right, it seemed like they had a good relationship with everything that you just described, right? Being willing to hash out with Hackett and Rodgers and maybe put his own desires and wants on the back burner to be collaborative. And then even if you're going to believe the reports that Rodgers would stand him up in those, what's supposed to be head coach quarterback meetings in pregame, who knows what there is to believe? But darn it, every time he was in front of the media, he praised Rodgers. Yep. He's a Hall of Famer. We want him here, all those things. So what that shows to me is he's a man of humility, right? He's willing to meet you where you are at. He's not trying to posture. He's not trying to bow up and make sure that his agenda is progressed. And he's just willing to take wins as they come. And that, to me, is actually a reflection of a good coach because that shows that he's going to meet Jordan Love where he is at as well. And maybe he can be more of that guy. There's a void with Aaron Rodgers, so he can step into that void and be more of a domineering figurehead head coach. But I feel like he seems easy to get along with. Mm-hmm. He seems like he's a humble guy. I just feel like he's going to meet Love where he's at. And if you're going to do that, it means you're going to put him in positions to succeed which are not the same positions you put Aaron Rodgers in.
No, they are not. We're live at Magoo's on 59th and Blue Mount. Magoo's on the mound. Brewers playoff push. Shuttles running to all Brewers home game, including the postseason, plus this weekend, including today as well. State Fair shuttle from 3 to 9 p.m. And, of course, Packers season at Magoo's. Drink special for every regular season game. Come on down here. Hang out. Preseason tonight. Brewers tonight. Homer is going to join us next on Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo, and Brust.
Wait, I don't want this to turn on to me completely, because Greg did get scammed by the internet, but I did scam Josh DiMaggio today.
Yeah, I mean,
you scam everybody every day. That's why you are unscammable, because you are constantly the scammer. I am the scammed.
I know where to look. If there's a scam, I'll know. And Greg, you believe in people too much, I guess.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Still dealing with that full closure on 43 southbound. That is at Good Hope Road. All lanes blocked due to a crash. We're seeing backups all the way over the county line. You can get off at Highway 41 if you're looking for an alternate route there. But again, a full closure on 43 southbound at Good Hope Road. 94 northbound's been a bit of a mess all day. A crash about a mile beyond the ramp from Ryan Road, still causing some backups all the way past Ryan Road. And then when you get closer to the city, you're going to see some delays around Lincoln Avenue as you head north towards the Marquette. The 94 is slow both ways through the stadium interchange, just a couple minutes delay there. Take a look at your forecast for tonight. Chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy and humid, a low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 85. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back, and bigger than ever, with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circus Sports. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, 2 ways to win and no rake. Play Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts, or join Circus Survivor, where you select one team each week straight up. Last the longest to win it all. $14 million in guaranteed prizes. Visit circusports.com for details.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance, because you'll feel protected no matter how the wind blows. All so you can keep enjoying the home of your dreams. And our expert agents can help you save up to 23% when you bundle home with auto. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. American Family Insurance. Get a quote? Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Bo stepping in for Ridgetop Larry, here to tell you about Ridgetop Exterior's most affordable payment options, including no interest and low interest financing. For your free estimate, visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, visit ridgetopexteriors.com.
Though Phi no longer drives, he can still fly down the track. Staying fit helps Phi stay flexible in his ongoing fight with retinitis pigmentosa, a blinding retinal disease. But even when the way forward is hard to see, Phi is always hopeful, because he knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding diseases, providing real hope to those fighting vision loss. And our nationwide community of local chapters provides networking and support for people with vision loss, as well as their loved ones. Because the best way to fight against blinding diseases is to fight together. And for Phi, winning the fight against vision loss means seeing new ways to push himself. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Learn more about how you can help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
Spending more time at home? Don't forget that 94.5 ESPN's on your smart speaker. Just ask Alexa to open 94.5 ESPN. 94.5 ESPN on Alexa is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL.
From Magoo's on the mound of 59th and Blue Mount. It is Scalzo and Brust. We're presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL. Brad Norman, your cousin sub of the day, in for Ben Brust. And we just enjoyed delicious fish fry here on Friday.
That was a very pleasant surprise. The chef said it's all homemade from scratch. Boy, it feels like it was. I mean, that was made with some love right there.
Yeah.
Jordan, no pun intended, literally. This is very good.
Beer battered cod. They have the sweet and sour slaw, homemade potato pancake, the whole menu made from scratch. So check out Magoo's on the mound here. Pop on down. Fantastic Packer specials all season long at Magoo's on the mound. And, of course, Packers start out tonight with preseason football, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, and we welcome in Homer of Homer and Tony. You listen to him every day, 2 to 4 on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Of course, he appears here every Friday. What's up, Homer? How you doing?
Sorry I was late. Where we were, they had free beer, and someone offered me a free beer. So.
Yeah, I figured that was the case, Homer. It is all good. Preseason tonight, kicking off the Jordan Love era, if you will. What are you going to be paying the most attention to? How much? I guess I'll change the question. How much do you want to see from Jordan Love tonight? How much do you want him to play?
I know he's gonna play less than I think he should play. Nobody plays in the preseason anymore, and so you just kind of accept that. No, now that you have these practices, that gives them even greater reason not to play them. So I don't know. I think they should always list the number of plays, not like how many series, like 20 plays or something like that. They can just get rid of preseason.
Homer, how much weight are you putting into whether it's a few series or a certain number of plays? I think we both agree. You're putting no weight into his performance, good or bad?
No, 5%, whatever. No, I don't. They play so little. How do you know how somebody's going to react to good and bad? They just take them out. So, it means nothing. It's worse than meaning nothing because they act like it means something, and everybody knows. So nobody even. I don't even know if you can judge by what plays are called. Right? They aren't even running the plays they would run. So you just kind of watch, and maybe you pick up something, or if somebody's really bad or if somebody's really good. But the general belief should be it's pathetic. They've made the games irrelevant to a degree that we really never thought possible. I don't think they should play any. I think they should just have.
You really think they should get rid of preseason?
Yes. Yeah.
Then how do you find
that they have? Those scrimmages. Oh, they know this is garbage. They know what the players they got from the practices and stuff. The number of surprises that exist in preseason game now is down to nothing because your ones are playing against. The twos are playing against the twos. What? No, they're a joke, and everybody knows it's a joke. But they have them because of the money that it's created. And my point is, they've come up with a way. Teams are smart. These are a joke, so what have they done? They've created these practices, which are good. Ones go against ones, or, they don't want the quarterback to get hurt. I give them credit. You tell me what's better, or ask anybody, which are more valuable, those scrimmages now or the preseason game?
I think there's value to preseason, Homer. I do. I mean, look, the addition of these scrimmages really helps take the weight off of preseason because you can really create a lot of different scenarios and you can do some things that you otherwise can't do in a preseason game and really try to see, okay, let's put Jordan Love in this situation. Let's put our defense in this situation. But don't you think there's something about a game atmosphere, a game rhythm that provides some benefit to be able to do it?
Wait, hold on. All right, you were playing. Okay, you were playing. How much did the JV games, man? How important were JV games?
In high school?
Yeah.
I mean, 0. I mean, to the JV team, they mattered, and the JV coaches.
I rest my case. Yeah, but in terms of the big picture, they meant nothing. What?
But these are the ones. Like Jordan Love is going to play tonight. You saw C.J. Stroud play for the Texans last night. Like you do have players who are either borderline starters or
but
starters.
But you don't have all your ones with him, and you're not playing against number one. That exists to a much greater degree in these scrimmages, right?
Sometimes, but I can't imagine the scrimmages are going to be bringing the same amount of intensity either as a regular season game. Like, I think the fact that the scrimmages we can't see really makes all of us think that these scrimmages are probably more impactful than they are. I bet if they televise these scrimmages, you'd look at them the same way as you look at preseason games, Homer.
I don't know. I mean, it'll defer to what the coaches decide. I think you're probably right about that.
Well, and I do.
But the question isn't why. The question is what?
I do think scrimmagers have a lot of value. I do agree with you there.
Right. Brian, why do you think they were created? Because the games are worthless now. They used to have them once in a while. I mean, how many of those things existed when you played?
Scrimmages? It was in the infancy of it. I think I did 2 joint scrimmages, and they were still trying to figure out what the rhythm was. And we did some. I think we did some live 7-on-7 and 11-on-11, but it seems like they've got it really dialed in now.
But you're probably still not you're not scouting the other team. You're not running complex defense, right? I mean,
yeah, that's true. It's all very straightforward still, and you're putting your team and the defense in very specific situations. And look, the competitive juices come out. I just think a game atmosphere and a game environment can't be replicated in scrimmage. I don't know. There's no stat line. There's no national television to it. Who's a gamer? Who's not a gamer? I think that's a part of it as well.
That when you play a real game, do you think of a gamer versus a gamer when they're in the JV game? You use the JV in high school. Do you use the JV games as a way to determine a gamer or a gamer? No, I will defer to the people playing because I think they're 100% in agreement with me that the development of these script practices. I think that's why the Packers do it because the preseason games are a joke. They become JV games, and there are some minor exceptions, but. Explain to me how you wouldn't want to play Jordan Love a lot. I mean, he's never been the guy. Now he's the guy in the first preseason game, and they're only 3. We'll give him about 10 plays. Doesn't that basically tell you they're a waste of time?
It does imply that they don't see much value in it. That is certainly the case. All right, so you're not taking anything away from tonight's game. Like you're obviously going to watch the game.
No.
I assume.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
You're going to basically whatever your eyes tell you, you're just automatically dismissing.
No, I mean I'm going to watch it, but my comment is they've made them irrelevant. There's still some value. I mean, you might see something. Maybe a young guy will have a good game, but they've destroyed them. Not me. So the ability to pick anything, but we'll still observe. I don't know who plays in certain positions, who they decide to start, or how they do that kind of stuff. But it could all be done without these games.
Do you think a less amount of games would help to continue to shave it down to 2 or maybe even 1 game? Or just get rid of them completely?
I don't know. I don't know for sure because then we would judge it by what the teams decided to do. At the present, they have decided, and you don't even have these old school guys. Remember, you used to have guys like, yeah, they could get hurt, but we got to, you really got to play them. No, I don't think there's – who's the guy who plays people the most in the preseason? That number of coaches has changed dramatically. So the tough coaches have even given in.
Yeah, I wonder how much Dan Campbell's going to be playing the ones. I mean, that would be the guy that you look at and is like,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And on the same side, McVay unashamedly sits all the starters.
Nope.
For like every game.
Talking with Homer.
Right.
Talking with Homer here on Scalzo and Brust across ESPN Wisconsin. We're live at Magoo's on the mound. Pop on down. Enjoy the opening of the Jordan Love era as they kick off preseason tonight. So if there was one thing tonight you're paying most attention to, what is it?
Well, no, I'm going to watch everything about Jordan Love, but I'd watch him if he went into the bathroom. I'd watch him in the pregame while he puts on his uniform.
Are you focusing more in terms of how he conducts himself, how he commands the huddle, how he is around the teammates? Is it the accuracy of the throws? Is it how he handles what little pressure is probably going to be placed on him? Like, what about it are you really going to be focused on?
Nothing. I mean, you just watch it like you watch it. You watch it and see if anything stands out to any degree whatsoever. But, it stands out based on the fundamental point that they're worthless. It's a waste of time. They've made them irrelevant, but it's what's out there, so we'll watch it. When we watch anything, right? I mean, I think that, if they didn't hit the quarterback, all right, say you can't hit the quarterback anymore. I don't know what that. You'd still watch it, right?
I think that would actually help because then you'd have more quarterbacks playing.
That's true.
You could. It amazes me that anybody can argue with me because my opinion's not based on what I think. It's based on what the coaches have done.
Well,
They
still think there's value a lot of times for those borderline roster guys. Or, hey, we've got a competition at safety. Who's going to come out and make plays and be a gamer, per Brad's point? I mean, there still are decisions that do get made based on preseason performance.
I don't think so. I think the percentage of that is very small. I think they play them because they have to. I think if you ask them at the current status of how they're done and what teams do, I think they would vote not playing them.
I think every team plays a little bit of a different game, right? Because, whether you're a veteran or you're a young guy, if you're a veteran, you're just trying to not get hurt and just get in the rhythm if you're forced to play. If you're a young guy, you're playing out there for your life. This might be specialist bias coming through here, but it is interesting to see guys play and try to earn a spot on special teams. It's hard to recreate a full punt, for instance, in a practice compared to a game when there's actually people coming at you and actually a returner.
Right.
But to your point, these are guys that are borderline 53 guys, right? I mean, this isn't your QB1, this isn't your D-end one. I feel like it's helpful for fringe decision making to fill the spots of your roster.
Well, and I hate to agree with Homer.
I agree, but I think they could make those decisions pretty well without them. But any additional information helps.
I disagree with your overall premise, Homer, but I will say if the Packers looked at Amari Rodgers in preseason and said, yep, we still want him returning punts, then, then it really doesn't matter all that much.
So what exactly is the thing that you disagree with, just so I'm aware of it?
I think the preseason holds more value than you're letting on. I think you're taking it to an extreme of, hey, I would cancel all preseason games. I think certainly the nature of
football... Well, I would replace them with the scrimmages. And I think that's what's going to happen. Now, they're not going to get rid of all of them because of the money that's created. If they could find a way to make money somewhere else, I think they'd eliminate them. And it's going to go down to
then the scrimmages,
at least 2. They've already.
I'll just say this, Homer. Then, if we do it that way, in 10 years, you're going to be, hopefully, on the show talking about the idea of the scrimmages being useless. And why are they even doing these scrimmages? Why are they televising them? Because that's the JV game.
I mean, right. The reality is, because of the rules, they've made preseason useless. I mean, the number of practices and what they can do has, more than anything, limited the ability of teams to figure out who's good. I mean, the number of practices when they can hit, when they can't hit. Right? I mean, they could just eliminate everything. Whatever they can get down to by the union, that's what they're going to do, right? I don't know. What's the
Daniel, the unofficial landscaping sloth
that you can hit?
The landscaping sloth, Daniel, chimes in with an interesting idea I want to run by you guys. He says, why can't they just use the first 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season and cut players as the weeks go on? So basically start the season with, 75 people on the roster. It goes to 65. That goes to 55.
Right.
Well,
sure they could.
Yeah, they could do that, but those wins and losses are too valuable.
College doesn't have preseason games.
That's true.
Right?
And you're paying salaries.
Well, yeah, if there are certain salaries and contracts that become guaranteed upon week one, there's a lot of dynamics to that week one roster.
Teddy from Watertown, Homer, says Dak Prescott is the Cowboys starter in the NFL because of preseason. You don't have much to lose, but lots to gain.
Homer, is there well, with all these young skill group of guys, is there anybody, these receivers or tight ends, is there anybody that you're excited to see? Because those guys are going to get some playing time, you'd think. So is there any one of those guys that you're I'm excited to see?
Yeah, I'm going to watch them all. But they're young. They're going to mess up. But, the Packers have decided, or I think Goody has, he wants to play the young as much as they can. But I think in general, in the preseason, people will be surprised at how little they play.
Well, Homer, enjoy the useless JV game that's going to be taking place tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
It's better than no game, right? That deserves to be celebrated.
I'm watching it, but just because I'm watching it and you're watching it, that doesn't change what it is.
Thank you,
Just
Homer.
because I'm watching. Bye.
Homer and Tony, weekdays 2 to 4, 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Brad Norman in for Ben Brust. On Scalzo and Brust, we're live at Magoo's on the Mound, 59th and Blue Mound. Some great stuff coming up this Packers season for Magoo's. Drink specials for every regular season game include $2 domestic taps, $7 double tall Tito's drinks. They have a free halftime buffet every game. They're famous and amazing wings, chili dogs, sloppy Joe, and more. And the way they do their halftime buffet is a little different than most places. You get a numbered ticket when you arrive, so the order that you go through the buffet is the order in which you arrive at the bar. So you don't have somebody showing up 30 seconds before the half and then running to the front of the line and taking all the food. You arrive first, you're first through the line, and they open at 10:30 a.m. for all noon games. Otherwise, their normal open on Sunday is at 11. That's not all they have coming up this football season. I'll keep telling you what's going on here at Magoo's, but it just gets better. So put that on your calendar as the Packers season gets underway. We'll come back with some 1-0. It's Scalzo and Brust presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo and Brust.
Yeah, we probably handled that the incorrect way today, man.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app and wherever you get your podcasts.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. Make the most out of your summer at Elkhart Lakes Road America. Slow down your summer and take in some high-speed thrill at Elkhart Lakes Road America. The race season is still going strong. Don't miss a minute of the fun. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. The SRO GT World Challenge features exotic sports car racing at Road America August 18th through the 20th. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Harry Douglas.
I'm going to go with Zay Flowers, but Zay Flowers, I think, won't have more production than Jackson Smith-Njigba nor Jordan Addison. When I look at the Minnesota Vikings and Kevin O'Connell coming from, the Los Angeles Rams. He wants to throw the football around. You look at Justin Jefferson as the best wide receiver in the game right now. He's going to demand double teams, so that's going to allow Jordan Addison to get more touches. You got to remember, Zay Flowers being in Baltimore, they're a run-centric, a run-first offense. So that's going to negate away from or take away from Zay Flowers getting the football, I think, more frequently than you may see a Quentin Johnston or you may see a Jackson Smith-Njigba, also a Jordan Addison. But I think in a long run, the best product will be Zay Flowers.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update.
and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Christopher's shoot against childhood cancer took place on Friday, July 14th at the Waukesha Gun Club. This great day helped raise over $200,000 for childhood cancer research. Sponsors of Christopher's shoot at the Waukesha Gun Club included Super Excavators, Land & Stone, DF Tomasini Contractors, Miller Bradford and Risberg, Wisoda Sand and Gravel, Jumbo's Frozen Custard, and Fay-Bit Cat. Thank you to these amazing local businesses for their generosity and hundreds of people who donated to the event.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back and bigger than ever with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circus Sports. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. 2 ways to win and no rake. Play Circa Million. Make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts. Or join Circus Survivor, where you select one team each week straight up. Last the longest to win it all. $14 million in guaranteed prizes. Visit circusports.com for details.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
The mound, 59th and Blue Mound. Pop on down. Opening preseason game for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Greg Scalzo, your cousin of the day. Brad Norman in for Ben Brust. You, the Scalzo and Brust family, calling, texting 800-990-3776, 990 ESPN, Twitter at Scalzo and Brust for every regular season game here at Magoo's before the opening kickoff. And if you're there before the kick and there after the game, you get an entry into an end of the season drawing where one lucky winner can choose one of the following: a trip for 2 to Vegas, a trip for 2 to Nashville, a trip for 2 to a mutually agreed upon Packer game next season, or 16 tickets for the Legends Club Suite at a mutually agreed upon game next season at AmFam Field for the Brewers. There's different giveaways every single game. Live DJ for select games. An awesome, lively season expected here at Magoo's. So pop on down this Packer season to catch all of the action. Josh, let's get to some 1 or zeros.
Are you a 1 or a 0? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Are you a yes or a no?
There's no such thing as a gray area. Life is binary. It's just a 1 or a 0. 1 or 0 is presented by Circa Sports. Play the Circa Million and Circa Survivor with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circa Sports. Enter in Vegas. Play from anywhere. Visit circusports.com for details.
He's Brad Norman. I'm Greg Scalzo. We're your contestants for 1 or 0. Josh DiMaggio, your host. He asks us a question. We say 1 for yes, 0 for no. There is no gray area. Joshy, take it away.
In an interview, Joey Bosa recently said that eating isn't enjoyable to him anymore, and it's just become part of his job. Bosa has been eating up to 4,000 to 5,000 calories per day in order to gain weight. 1 or 0. You could eat 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day and still enjoy eating.
I'm a 0 here. I I've never been in a position where I'm like, if I'm hungry, I have to not eat, or if I'm not hungry, I have to eat. Like, I eat when I'm hungry, I don't eat when I'm not hungry. The idea of forcing food down my throat would be horrible.
I'm a zero as well. I've witnessed it, and it's torturous. I mean, you'll have dietitians sit down with guys, fill their plate. Their plate is massive, and it's kind of like being a kid. They're like, you're not getting up until you finish your plate, and it's just like, slowly hovering the fork to the mouth because they're just so uncomfortable. And these aren't like 4,000 to 5,000 calories. These are like generally healthy calories too. Yeah. It's a lot of food. Joe Thomas tells a story about eating a full pizza and a gallon of milk before bed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how horribly you'd sleep?
Well, oh man,
That would be
how horribly your wife would sleep too. I mean, the idea. Like I remember when Joe retired, and obviously he's a Hall of Famer. Shout out to our guy Joe. He dropped weight pretty quick, and I remember he came into the ESPN Madison office at the time for one reason or another, and I was just like, "How did you do that so quick?" He was like, "Honestly, I just only ate when I was hungry. It was more work for me to keep weight on than it was to ultimately lose it."
Yeah, there was a guy I played with in Carolina, Jordan Gross. He was a Pro Bowl tackle, and he was a heavy lineman. And when he retired, he went away for 9 months, came back to training camp, and he looked like a middle school kid, long and lanky. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, Jordan, what'd you do?" And he's like, "I just became a normal person." That's it. That's the only secret to it.
That'd be a disaster to force food.
Ugh.
Yesterday, Matt Eberflus confirmed that Justin Fields will appear in the preseason opener for the Chicago Bears. 1 or 0. Justin Fields should be at the point where he doesn't play preseason.
0. Again, Fields was good last year on a bad team. I will draw the comparison of a high-level scorer, a volume scorer on a bad NBA team. That's great. You were able to score a lot of points on a bad team because you had the ball in your hands so often. Justin Fields had a good statistical year because there's nobody else on that offense to do anything. He was able to run a lot. He was able to gain a lot of yards. It was pretty much, hey, Justin, go and make things happen. It made it harder to win, but I also think it made it easier for him to become sort of a difference maker and a playmaker, especially with his feet. I think he should be playing. I don't think they should let him run. I think they should focus exclusively on keeping him in the pocket and allowing him to grow passing. But even after the conversation we just had with Homer about preseason, I wonder if there is the possibility of a team taking preseason more seriously and actually having a competitive advantage because their team is getting off to a better start because they do have more experience and more consistency.
That's a good take. I like that. Because even week 1, gosh, I just feel like it looks sloppy.
Always.
No matter how it is, there's always a punt return, just missed assignments. Something is always off about week 1. I'm a 0 as well. I think if you're not going to play in the preseason at all, I mean, no series, not even suiting up, it should be a no-brainer, yes, absolutely, and Justin Fields is not that to me. I mean, if you're a guy like Aaron Rodgers, easy one, right? Oh, no-brainer, right? You can go through all the quarterbacks and high-end skill talent, but he's not a no-brainer to me. And he's got a new cast of characters with DJ Moore and a couple other guys that he's got to get on script with. So he should be out there. Now, he shouldn't be playing. I would say Jordan Love should be playing more than Justin Fields, but a couple series, knock the rust off for sure for Justin Fields.
Virgin Galactic launched its first space tourist flight yesterday that takes a space plane 50 miles above Earth with windows around the cabin and 4 seats for tourists that lasts about 90 minutes and hovers in place for a few minutes to let passengers experience zero gravity. 1 or 0. You're interested in taking a flight to space.
1. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I would love to get to a flight to space. I want it to be a little bit more established and regulated. I don't want to be one of the first people to do it. I wouldn't volunteer to be on, this flight, the first space tourist flight. But I think after a few years, if it's, safe and has a good record, definitely. Sign me up.
Man, give me a 0 on that one. I like my feet on the ground. I'm pretty comfortable here. Nothing about the cold void of space really makes me want to say, yeah, throw me out there and see what happens. And, oh, yeah, if one small thing goes wrong in the thousands of things that can, you're dead meat. I'm okay with, Earth has got its problems. Give me some Earth, though.
Yeah, see, space, we did this about deep sea when the tragedy happened with the, not submarine, but...
Submersible.
submersible in the Titanic thing. Like, I have no interest in going down deep into the sea, but there is something to me about space that, like, it's worth a small risk for me.
You got like the explorer heart in you, don't you, Greg?
I mean, it's just there's like space fascinates me. It fascinates me endlessly, and so the idea of even being able to just put my eyes on it would be interesting.
Yeah.
That's all I got for 1 or 0.
Thank you, Joshy. Josh DiMaggio there for some 1 or 0s. Brad Norman in for Ben Brust. Greg Scalzo here with you. Scalzo and Brust presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. We're live at Magoo's. We'll come back, turn our attention back to this Green Bay Packers squad. That's next on Scalzo and Brust presented by Bud Light.
It continues to be an eventful day on the roads. The big story remains the closure on 43 southbound. That's a full closure of the southbound lanes at Good Hope Road due to a crash. We're seeing backups all the way over the county line now. It's looking like it's backed up all the way past Mequon Road. You're going to want to get off at Highway 41 if you're stuck in that. That seems to be the best alternate route. 43 northbound also seeing some delays from downtown to Brown Deer Road. Currently a 24-minute ride. That's about a 15-minute delay as you approach the site of the closure. We've also got a disabled vehicle reported in the right lane on 894 northbound, a little bit beyond the ramp from Beloit Road. The 94 northbound continuing to be a mess. We've got delays around Lincoln Avenue, and then further south of that, we're still keeping an eye on that crash that still apparently is blocking the left lane. That is about a mile beyond the ramp from Ryan Road and continuing to cause delays a couple minutes south of Ryan Road. Forecast for tonight, chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy, low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 85. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Barmore-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
I'm coming.
Hi, Mark Tauscher. Tausch, you have mosquitoes in here.
It's like an insect zoo right now at my house. Here comes that wasp again. Incoming.
Shoo, you need Pella's 250 series of windows with exclusive hidden screens, protecting you from nature.
Yes, please. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin to the rescue.
Get a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens as low as $188 per month. PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 8/31/23.
The Lakeside Patio at Golden Mast Inn is the place to be this summer, overlooking Okauchee Lake. Golden Mast Inn has been family-owned and operated for over 50 years in beautiful lake country. Experience lakeside dining, featuring hand-cut steaks, fresh seafood, a small plate menu, and German family specialties. Enjoy a drink while listening to live music every Wednesday night on the Lakeside Patio or Friday and Saturday nights in the lounge. And don't forget about their amazing champagne brunch on Sundays from 10:30 until 2. Golden Mast Inn is your place on the lake.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust. For your sports talk fix every day from 4 to 6, it's Scalzo and Brust.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue.
Party,
this is Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light
it's a party,
on 94.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's a party, baby. It's a party, baby.
Magoo's on the mound. It's Scalzo and Brust, presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light. A lot going on here all football season long at Magoo's. We talked about some of the specials on game days of the regular season, including $2 domestic taps, $7 double tall Tito's drinks as well. Tons of TVs in and around the bar area here. Plenty of room to operate. Plus, Mark, our guy Mark, who's one of the owners here at Magoo's, predicted with Wilde and Tausch that the Packers are going to win more games this season than last season. So 9 or more games. Now, if the Packers don't win at least 8 regular season games by by the new year. So they just have to win. If they don't win 8 by New Year, then tap beer is going to be for free the entirety of the final game of the season, that Bears game, which right now is scheduled for January 7th. It's possible that it gets flexed to one of the Saturday games, but that last game of the regular season could be free beer here.
That would be exciting. That would bring me here for that.
Oh, yeah. So that's a lot of cool stuff going on. Check it out all season long here at Magoo's on the Mound. Of course, today, the beginning of the Jordan Love era as the Packers get ready to take on the Bengals to kick off preseason. As I said before, Brad Nortman in for Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo. And I think what everyone's going to be focused on, what the main story, obviously, of this season is Jordan Love. I think behind that, it's Matt LaFleur. Right? We talked a little bit about it earlier. The idea of Matt LaFleur, who is he without Aaron Rodgers? What is his identity without Aaron Rodgers? What does this offense look like without Aaron Rodgers? And it's going to be a really telling season one way or the other to see how this offense performs. And it's interesting to hear, this being talked about. Diana Rossini had some interesting comments about this on Get Up, her and Harry Douglas talking about what this season means for Coach Matt LaFleur.
I'm really excited to see what this offense will look like with Matt LaFleur having full control with no say from an Aaron Rodgers. Let's see if this will look good.
Right, but it's his job also to protect Jordan Love too, right? Run the football a lot more, lean on that offensive line, lean on those two studs that you have at the running back position, and not put your young quarterback in situations that can, dismantle his confidence.
So, similar conversation as to what we were having. Who do you hold more accountable for the success of this offense? Is it more on Jordan Love? Is it more on Matt LaFleur? And how much will we learn about LaFleur this season?
For me, it's primarily on Matt LaFleur. Now, it's a little bit of both, of course, because you're picking the plays and you're setting up defenses and you're game planning, and you still need guys to execute, right? You could have the perfect play call and Jordan Love throw it in the dirt, and you're like, well, what more can I do? With that being said, if Matt LaFleur is the coach that wants to be in the same conversation as Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, these are the kind of situations where he needs to let his play calling and development speak for itself. And look, Packers have a top 10 offensive line, maybe. We've got 2 running backs. Or one that's a Pro Bowl running back and another one that's just a stout running back. So there's talent there. That's more than a lot of other teams can say. And let's not forget, he's had Jordan Love for 3 years to be able to develop him, coach him, have him speak the language, and be able to read things. Now, his primary focus has been Rodgers and winning for sure. But 3 years, he knows what the game plan was. He knew he was going to be in this position. So it's important. Let's see if he's been developing Jordan Love. Let's see if he can put Jordan Love in a good position. My vote, at least 51% Matt LaFleur.
See, I like that you pointed out the 3 years that he's already been under LaFleur's tutelage, because I think that's so important under the idea of how ready is Jordan Love? You knew that this was going to be coming down the line at some point. When they drafted him and Matt LaFleur was seen on camera hugging and smiling and celebrating, he knew at some point Jordan was going to be the guy. Mm-hmm. And for as much as people are talking about, well, Aaron Rodgers should have been there at all the OTAs and all of these, voluntary practices in the spring and different things, when he wasn't, Jordan was. And Jordan was playing with some of these guys that he's with now. I do think you have to take that into account in the sense of, well, whatever Jordan Love is this product, Matt LaFleur had a hand in making him into this product. Now, to your point, I do think that the exception to that rule is if Jordan Love is just so ungodly inaccurate, and if he looks like he doesn't belong, you could probably say, well, at what point, how much of a difference can a coach make, right? How far can they bring a quarterback and develop talent to that extent? But if he looks capable, and short of that, I tend to agree. I think this is a bigger test for LaFleur than it is for Jordan Love. Now, we don't know if Jordan Love is going to be a top 5 elite level quarterback, a top 10 guy. But at this point, I do think it's a fair expectation for at the end of the season you to look at him and be like, oh, yeah, that's a bona fide starter in the NFL.
Absolutely. I think that should be the expectation. If you're saying at the all zeros in Week 18 on the game clock, looking back, you should have a feeling that Jordan Love is comfortable and capable, right? I don't think he's going to be top 10, but you should look at it and be able to say after all this time and all this development that they got somebody here, right? Someone you can build around, someone that you can win with. And don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of times where a coach will look at a guy dead in the eye and say, do this. I told you 100 times, do this. And he's like, yes, coach, yes, coach. He goes out there and doesn't do it. So, look, that is possible. I just don't read that as Jordan Love. Maybe when he came into the league, which is maybe why they wanted to draft and develop him, he seems more mature. Seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's not dramatic. And he seems, from everything I can tell, he seems pretty poised. And it seems like he can make some throws. So, look, all the breadcrumbs would lead you to believe he has been developed. They are communicating. He's capable to complete some passes. Now it's up to Matt LaFleur to put him in situations where he's comfortable. And he can make, how many times do you feel like there's an offense run by Shanahan and McVay or Andy Reid where it's like, wait, this guy's wide open. Now, those guys make incredible throws, but man, the game planning, setting up the defense in quarter one for a play in quarter three, it's all part of the chess match. They're doing more than what we know as fans. And so the coach has a lot of his fingerprints on it. And I'm excited to see what Matt LaFleur does.
Now, did you ever play on a team where you saw a quarterback not get coached the right way by an offensive coach, where you're looking at him and saying, this guy's got the talent, but he's just not, figuring it out? Or vice versa, where you saw a coach doing his best, but everybody on the team looked at that quarterback and was like, oh, this guy just doesn't have it?
Well, that's a good question. So I've only had Cam, who had really good coaches, right? We were talking about, the offensive coordinators, I'm blanking on the name. Well, the quarterback's coach was Ken Dorsey, who now is the offensive coordinator for the Bills, so he has grown in his career. And in Jacksonville is Hackett. Hackett was the quarterback's coach and the offensive coordinator. So, I mean, with Cam, you just had to use his raw ability. Like, running had to be part of it because he was just such a behemoth and it was such an X factor in a game. So I felt like they used him well for what he could provide. And with Blake in Jacksonville, I do think Hackett is a good offensive coordinator. I don't really know what happened in Denver last year. I mean, the whole Sean Payton thing, it's bizarre, right? And even how the season went for Denver last year, just everything felt weird. But I do think Hackett's a good OC. I do think he knows what he's doing. He's smart, he's approachable, and he works hard. And he connects with guys, which is very important. So with Blake, he did what he can do. As much as you can take a guy like Blake, who maybe was just overdrafted a little bit, but Blake could play in the NFL. I mean, he had a couple of good seasons, but I think he took Blake to be as successful as he could, right? Characterized by the AFC Championship game. But that's another good point, right? Where that year in Jacksonville, great defense, strong running game, strong leaders, and put it together. It's possible to do that with a guy like Blake Bortles, and I would like to believe Jordan Love can be at least that.
Well, and you guys were in that AFC Championship.
That's right.
Game. I mean, you could have won.
Nightmares, Greg. Nightmares.
Yeah. We won't dig into that one right now. I do want to give a shout out to Gina Della, the entire team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You want to keep all those bugs, all the birds out of your house. Of course you do. You want to keep all that air conditioning in your house. You want that energy efficiency. You get all of it with the innovations from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, like the 250 series that includes exclusive hidden screens. They stay inside the window while you're not using it, and then when you roll it up, there are the screens right there. And if you bundle and save 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with exclusive hidden screens, you can pay as low as $188 per month. Now, that is a great deal. I can't recommend working with the team at Pella enough. We talk about the quality. We talk about the innovation. We all know that's there. But who are the people you're working with? Joe Franco, that entire team, second to none in terms of communication, in terms of over-delivery. Heck, the last project I had, he was sitting in village meetings for me, trying to make sure that we had the right permitting in place to get this project done. And then, of course, the installers are incredible. Visit PellaWI.com/radio. That's PellaWI.com/radio, or stop by their Experience Center in Brookfield or on the Beltline in Madison. We go pole dancing next on Scalzo and Brust, live from Magoo's on the Mound.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust, presented by Bud Light.
Loyal Scalzo and Brust listeners will remember.
I'm a loyal Scalzo and Brust listener, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, we know you're not listening to us.
Very rarely listening when Joshy and I are talking. I mean, right?
Yeah, I admitted it. Yeah, I'm a loyal listener, but I have no idea what you're talking about. I only listen when I'm speaking.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Still pretty hectic, but some things are starting to clear up. The crash on 94 northbound by Ryan Road is now cleared up, and now there's pretty much no delays there. But the backups around Lincoln Avenue due to that truck that's off on the side, the people are giving a wide berth, now stretching all the way back to Howard Avenue. And then, of course, we still have 43 southbound closed at Good Hope Road. All southbound lanes blocked due to a crash. Those backups stretching over the county line, almost all the way to Highland Road. 43 northbound also getting slow downtown to Browndeer Road. Currently a 24-minute ride. That is about a 15-minute delay. Traffic is sponsored by Carroll University's master's programs in athletic training, exercise physiology, and sport physiology and performance coaching. Learn more at carrollu.edu/sportscience. Your forecast for tonight: chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy, low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 85. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Farmar-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN. Woo.
Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitro Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
Yeah, they're football guys, but they don't shy away from the big topics of the day.
So you won't listen to their music because of this? Was it a bad breakup?
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Also sponsored by American Family Insurance.
I don't know. You play one of their songs on
this
our
guy
show.
broke up with Florida Georgia Line. You should like him more.
I do like Tyler Hunt. Yeah, it's a good career move for him.
You're still not going to go to the concert.
Weekdays 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Treat yourself to a new shower this summer. Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you over. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
There's lots to see and do at the Dodge County Fair. Fun for me and you. There's good times in the air.
Truck, tractor, and horse pulls, showmanship events, animal auctions, live music, and all-star entertainment. So much to see and do at the Dodge County Fair, August 16th through the 20th. Visit the vendor booths, wander through the buildings to see beautiful displays and projects, and hit the midway for the games and rides. Daily admission is just $10 before noon and $15 after. Visit DodgeCountyFairgrounds.com to purchase your advanced season tickets for $35 and see area locations to purchase in person. The Dodge County Fair, August 16th through the 20th.
Come on, everyone, to the Dodge County Fair.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light, the official beer of the NFL.
I had you on hold. I thought I had you on hold. I thought I had you on hold.
Scalzo and Brust live on a Friday at the Goose on the Mound. End your week with us here. Get ready for Packers preseason football. Food is phenomenal. We just got another burger. We enjoyed the fish fried earlier. They just brought out a burger for us. This is the Magoo burger here. And as we said before, everything's made from scratch. So he's got the homemade pickles on here. He's got beer braised onion. And they've even got a special curry ketchup that is absolutely delicious. come on down, enjoy the food tonight, enjoy the food all football season long. We've talked about some of the drink specials they have, some of the activities they're going to have going on. Buffet coming up for all regular season games. Great specials like $2 domestic taps. Of course, come on down to Magoo's on the Mound. Hanging out here 59th and Blue Mound. Brad Nortman, your cousin sub of the day, in for Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo, Josh DiMaggio, and I was wrong before. It is not Alex G back in Madison. It is young Riley Yauk.
Oh.
So we'll
give
him a shout out there. But it's Friday. It's time to go pole dancing.
They've got questions, and we've got answers. Time to give the people what they want. Let's go pole dancing on Scalzo and Brust. Brought to you by Great Lakes Dragaway. A 1/4-mile-long drag strip plus a drift pad. Even drive your own car on the track. Find full event schedule and ticket information at GreatLakesDragaway.com.
Every week we go up and down the dial, 100.5 ESPN in Madison, 94.5 ESPN in Milwaukee, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, home of the Golden Beavers. Shout out to you, Dodge County. To all of our fellow shows, all of our fellow hosts, the questions they themselves couldn't answer, the polls they posted, we say, you know what? We'll help you out with that. So, Joshy, what do we got this week?
Let's start it off here with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, which you can hear 7 to 9 a.m. on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Which word best describes how you feel about watching tonight's Packers preseason game? Excited, intrigued, or disinterested?
I'm excited, and I know excited got the least amount of votes here at 23%. Correct. Intrigued was 42%. Disinterested at 36%. I'm excited because it's a chance to see, even if it's not what this offense is going to be, it's a chance to see some of the guys that are going to be really impactful in the offense.
I agree. I'm excited. Look, I was excited for the Hall of Fame game, right? It's football. It's football, baby. It's back. So, look, on top of that, you got the Packers playing. You can see Jordan Love for the first time as quarterback one. I don't know how you couldn't be excited and consider me excited.
All right, sticking with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here. It is, I believe this is off Phil Mickelson, was rumored trying to bet himself at the Ryder Cup that we talked about yesterday. If you literally bet on yourself, should that be a bigger incentive to win and be applauded? Yes, 76%. No, 24%.
No, absolutely not. Like, if I have a tip that someone would consider insider trading and I decide to invest in a stock that I know is going, that I believe in, are you saying, well, he believes in it more? Like, the idea that he has more information and he's participating in the game, like, no, it's not okay to be gambling on that. Like, it's just not. It takes away any integrity from the rest of the gamblers and the bettors out there.
I'm shocked that there was a yes at 76% with this. I mean, a bigger incentive to win, yes. To be applauded? Man, I mean, that's a strong word. It put me down in the no category. I think the beautiful thing about sports is that it is a competition. At a minimum, there's the illusion of fairness and the illusion of, and I believe it is fair, right? I don't think that many of the big sports out there, there's nothing to do with rigged or anything like that. But doing this sort of pierces that veil a little bit where you start to ask questions, and I don't think that's good for sports. So I think that's no. I don't think that should be applauded.
And it's also, when you bet on yourself, you're just really small step away from betting against it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're betting on your team, you can make that argument. But as soon as there's an injury that happens on your team and you get unsure, just the idea that you start betting on games you're involved in, absolute no-no. I'm somebody who supports sports gambling. I don't support athletes gambling on the sports in which they play. If you play in the NFL, you want to bet on the NHL, fine. Mm-hmm. You should not be allowed to bet on another NFL game.
Agreed there.
Joshy?
I was just talking into a mic that wasn't turned on. That's why you didn't hear me there. I said we got a few more here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Which team is under more pressure this season? The Bears, 69%, or the Packers, 31%?
I mean, it's the Packers. I know people don't want to think it, but, like, if the Bears end up winning 8 games, their fans are going to be satisfied. If the Packers win 8 games, there's going to be a subset of the fans that aren't satisfied. There's higher levels of expectations in Green Bay, and that is a good thing. Like, you want in your life to have a high level of expectations. pressure is a privilege. I believe that's a Monty Williams saying. If you have pressure, that's a good thing. I still think the Packers have more pressure, and quite frankly, I think they should have a higher level of expectation this season than the Bears. The Bears were the worst team in the league last year.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do think I agree with you that expectations and maybe a better team in the Packers, they should do better. I think there's more pressure on the Bears purely because of where they are on the timeline of the rebuild, right? I don't know how many times I'm going to live through a Bears rebuild. I feel like I'm living through another one. And it's one of those things where it's like, this is when we should start to see the fruit. Justin Fields, you need to develop him now into a top 12 quarterback. And I just feel like they've made the moves, they've made the trades where it's like, okay, we've been patient, now's the time. I don't think that's the situation this year for the Packers. That feels like next year for me for Green Bay. But for the Bears, it's like, we've had enough time, now is the time to show me something. So give me the Bears on that one.
If Aaron Rodgers and the Jets made the Super Bowl, would you root against him? Yes, 55%. No, 45%.
I wouldn't. I mean, I think it somewhat depends on who he's playing. But no, I think it's a great story. And again, I know I've been Aaron Rodgers' number one supporter here the last few years. I think him going to a new team, the legend, would continue to grow. I also think it's interesting, and whether people want to admit it or not, the storylines and the soap opera that exists around sports is just as appealing to many fans as the actual games themselves. And him as sort of the most provocative character in that soap opera right now, getting to that highest level, I think would just be incredible real-life drama.
I'm not rooting against him either. I don't have much disdain for him. I think that it was just a bad mix at the end of his career with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. I understand both sides. So for me, I don't think I'm rooting against him unless he's playing a team that I have a horse in the race for. But I can't. Did the Patriots fans root against Brady when he was in the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not.
I don't think the Colts fans were rooting against Peyton Manning.
Absolutely
so
not.
So I don't think that's
neither of those ended as ugly as Rodgers.
True.
Like, their fans didn't turn on those guys as much.
That's true.
But I think, to your point, like, if you're a Packers fan out there, you're upset with the way that Aaron Rodgers conducted himself the last year or two. Okay, but that's 2 years out of an 18-year career that he spent in Green Bay. Busting his you-know-what and, putting it all out there and bringing a championship home.
I think Packer fans just want to be appreciated and valued. So I think it would piss off Packer fans if he, won a Super Bowl for the Jets and just, did the whole, Ring of Honor in New York before he did Green Bay. I think you just hope that he I think he does value those 18 years. But if he goes and have success, I think he's going to have success. I'm not rooting against him. I'm just not.
I would be rooting against Aaron Rodgers harder than I would be rooting for the Packers in an eventual Super Bowl. And I would feel more nerves if Aaron Rodgers was playing in a Super Bowl for the Jets than if the Packers were playing in the Super Bowl with Jordan Love. And that's by a whole lot. Let's move on here.
Do you know how broken your brain is with that, right?
Fully.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I was sharing that because I was thinking about it, and I said, this is probably unhealthy, but that's what we're going to go with. Let's move on to Wilde and Tausch. Show you can hear Brad Nortman fill in for on occasion. This one is about the ever-beloved Jesse Nelson. He is taking each Wednesday off this month to, quote, now heavily quotes on this, work from home and dog sit for his new puppy. If you were his ESPN Madison teammate, would you be irritated by this or okay with it?
I would be irritated by this. I would also basically be like, okay, well, can I go work from home once a week so I can water my plants? Like, it's a dog. Like, what are we doing? Dog sit for his new puppy? Like, what are we doing? I mean, that's like a full. He has a job where the main part of the job is to literally operate the controls in the studio. It's not like he's answering emails or he's like, on calls. I know that's a part of his role. But yes, if I was Alex Strofe, if I was, Woolley, if I was maybe even a young Riley Yalk, like, I would be like, okay, like, what? What is happening right now?
Yeah, to me, when something about work from home occurs, I ask myself, can you do this at the same caliber in office versus at home? For some careers and situations that is, others it's not. A producer, from what I know about producing, which isn't much, I do feel like your hands on the switches matter. Your physical hands on the switches matter. And also a bit of the leadership role that he has, right? It'll show up some space. My fear is, what's going to happen when a kid comes around? Are we talking about 3 days a week at home? Like, I mean, if this is a puppy, what's a young child going to do if that's what they're interested in?
I mean, I don't know what our paternity policy is here, but I'm guessing Jesse won't be at work for like 3 to 6 months after he has a kid, and then even that'll be once a week, twice a week. I mean, it'll be a long ramp up. I don't know. I guess I don't understand fully understand the whole dog thing. Me and Ben will get into arguments about that sometimes too. But I also my dog is like a dog's dog. Like, he's not like that. He can sit at home for up to 18 hours and hold it and like he'll be good. You know, like most dogs can.
Yeah.
You're a dog owner?
Growing up, we were. Lexi and I do not have a current dog.
You haven't gotten a puppy yet?
We've not gotten.
You don't have enough days to work from home?
Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. If I get every Wednesday from home, then maybe.
Yeah. Could either of you ever imagine at any point in your career approaching your boss and saying, "Hey, can I take Wednesdays and be at home with my puppy?" Like, I would be terrified to ask that question because I'd get laughed out of the room.
That's where I have an immense amount of respect for Jesse, because he's even willing to ask the question.
Yeah, that's true. It's
a lot. It takes a lot.
How good is it to be that puppy, too? You are being cared for. That's attention. That's sacrifice.
Let's be honest,
right there.
that puppy's like, man, it's Wednesday again? It sucks.
That's all I
Love you, Jesse. Thank you. That is pole dancing here on Scalzo and Brust. Brad Nortman, Greg Scalzo, hanging out live from Magoo's on the Mound, 59th and Blue Mound. Pop on down. Amazing food. They got the Friday fish fry going on here. Live music Wednesday nights. Talked about the State Fair shuttle. That's happening all weekend from 3 to 9 p.m. So if you're headed to the State Fair, the final weekend this weekend, start and end here at Magoo's. And, of course, for all Brewers home games, you can get the Magoo's shuttle as well. We'll do a little Green Bay props and preview, the first of the season, as we get ready for preseason football to start for the Packers. That's next. Scalzo and Brust, presented by the official beer of the NFL, Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo and Brust.
Have the hall monitor back on air again.
Right,
did he invite himself back on? All right. Are we going to your wedding or what?
I'll have you guys know I was the master of ceremonies for my 8th grade graduation from Lake Canoe Middle School.
Hang up on him, please. Thank you for the call.
Cool.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Keeping an eye on that full closure. It's 43 southbound. All southbound lanes closed to Good Hope Road. The lanes are blocked there due to a crash. We're going to see delays all the way back, stretching over the county line up towards Highland Road. You're going to want to get off at Highway 41 if you're stuck on 43 headed towards the city. 43 northbound also getting slow as well as you head up towards the site of the closure. From downtown to Brown Deer Road, currently a 20-minute ride. That's about a 9-minute delay. 94 northbound as you head in towards the city is continuing to be a mess. From about Beecher Street all the way back to Howard Avenue. There's a couple of disabled vehicles off on the shoulder there. It's looking at about a 5 to 8 minute delay there. Traffic is brought to you by Evans Transportation in Brookfield, where they provide customized logistics to keep you and your business moving forward. Your forecast for tonight: chance of thunderstorms, partly cloudy and humid, a low of 64. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 85. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Wyatt Farmar-Pooley on 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Chris Carlin.
Episode 1 of Hard Knocks training camp with the New York Jets was a simple homage to Aaron Rodgers. His arrival in New York was the biggest storyline in the NFL offseason, and the first episode of the HBO series Tuesday night reflected that. He was mic'd up for practice and the first preseason game. Players and coaches marveled at his ability to, quote, make a throw no other human can. Here's the problem. What has made this show engaging in years past has not been the star players. While they're a big part of the story, the players fighting to make the roster, discussions among front office personnel, even players getting cut. That's been the meat and potatoes of this. There was barely any discussion of the Sean Payton, Nathaniel Hackett controversy. But don't blame HBO. blame the Jets. They made it clear from day one they wanted no part of this and weren't going to be as accommodating with access as teams have been in the past. Hopefully they loosen up. I'm looking for more, but I'm not counting on it. Are you allowed to coach? That in 60 seconds.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
AutoZone is more than a parts store. It's where we help you solve problems like, sorry I'm late, my battery died. And
I need a jump again.
At America's #1 battery destination, you can find the right battery at the right price with options starting at only $89.99. And we offer free battery testing and charging whenever you need it. Get the parts and help you need to get the job done right at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Odd comments from Ron Rivera, the Commanders' head coach, regarding the coaching style of his new offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy. Rivera said players have come to him with concerns about how Bieniemy coaches him. This is a consistent issue in today's world, tough coaching versus the consistent pat on the back. For his part, Bieniemy says he takes a lot of pride in over-communicating to his players what he expects, because if he doesn't, he gets fired. But maybe this is something else. Bieniemy hasn't been able to get a head coaching job yet, and he went to Washington to prove he could do it away from Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Rivera is hanging on by a very thin thread. Maybe Ron is trying to protect himself and his own back from Bieniemy pushing him off the cliff so he finally gets his opportunity. With the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, from Canty and Carlin, I'm Chris Carlin.
You're listening to Scalzo and Brust on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Bud Light and streaming live on Wisconsin On Demand.
Scalzo and Brust live from Magoo's on the Mound, 59th and Bluemount. Brad Norman in for Ben Brust. I'm Greg Scalzo, hanging out here, enjoying some delicious food. Come on down all football season long. Specials every regular season game, $2 domestic tap, $7 double tall Tito's drinks, halftime buffet. Get here early. You'll be the first one in line for that buffet, and some incredible opportunities for you to win. Trips to Vegas, Nashville, away Packers games, all different things going on here. Giveaways every game, DJ for select games. A very lively season here at Magoo's on tap. So make sure you get here early and often for all things Green Bay Packers. And since it is our first Packers game of the season, preseason starts here in less than a half hour. We'll get back to do a little Green Bay props and preview on Scalzo and Brust.
Here's an idea. Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
Gather round, degenerates. Greg and Ben are here to tell you how they plan to lose their money this weekend. It's the Green Bay props and preview on Scalzo and Brust.
Every single Green Bay game, we turn our attention to Josh DiMaggio, who's got the board at his disposal. Some of these lines are real. Some of these lines are not. Some of them are just a figment of Josh's imagination. We'll tell you where you should and shouldn't put your money for a preseason game. That's some real degenerate stuff right there, Brad.
Sure
Betting
is.
on NFL preseason.
Sure is.
But we'll do it.
All right, let's start it off how we always do. Green Bay Packers -4 at the Cincinnati Bengals.
I'm going to say, give me the Packers. I'll give you the points. I'll take the Packers -4. No Joe Burrow. Jordan Love's going to start. That offense is going to come out swinging. I like this Packers team to win.
Boy, to pick a favorite in a preseason game, talk about all-time challenge. I'm gonna take the other side. Look, I think that the Packers are gonna get out there and put some of their young guys in to get a feel for it, but they're gonna quickly turn it over. I think the Bengals have Super Bowl aspirations, and their camp reflects that. So they're gonna come out there, have some juice, have some guys that are really hungry, and I think that they're gonna win by a field goal.
All right.
Alrighty, let's move on here. We usually do total points in the game, but it's only 34. That's not very exciting. Let's go Green Bay.
I'll still take the under.
Yes.
Let's go Green Bay Packers total points over under 19.5.
I feel like I got to take the under, especially after last night, that Patriots-Texans game. How anemic these offenses are. We talk about different personnel coming in and out of the game. I'm going to take the under here. I think Jordan Love moves the ball well for the Packers. I think that first unit gets some points, but I don't know how much there is with the Sean Clifford, Alex Magoo combo after that.
Give me the under, too. Generally speaking, these preseason games, it's clunky on offense, and that's to say it kindly. So, I just look at it and say the lower the points is more likely, and the defenses have an advantage, and it makes for ugly football, and it makes for low points.
All right, we got some interesting ones here. The result of Jordan Love's first pass attempt. A completion is minus 170, an incomplete is plus 125, or interception all the way up at plus 1,200.
I'm going to take interception. That's too good a it's too good a value not to.
Whoa.
Really? Plus 1,200 on that? I'm going to take it. Other than that, I would take an incomplete. Like, you got to take plus money here. Even if he's if he ends up at a 65% completion percentage, the idea I'm getting plus money on an incompletion, it's too good to pass up. Minus 170 for him to complete his first pass.
Look, you're right. Those are tough odds. I just don't believe there's any way LaFleur is going to put him in a position where, okay, son, this is your first pass attempt as QB1. Let's dial it up real easy for you. I'm thinking like a swing pass to Aaron Jones, something like that. Something really basic and easy. Get him started off confident. Man, you're going to go with the interception.
I'm going to go interception.
Wow.
1,200, yep. Hey, look, LaFleur last year, first play of the season for the Packers on offense. It was a bomb to Christian Watson. Should have been a touchdown. Went right through his hands.
That's fair. Go big or go home, especially preseason. Why not?
Why
Do
not?
some fireworks.
Do it again with Christian Watson.
We've got a few more Jordan Love specific ones here. What will Jordan Love do first? Throw a touchdown pass minus 210 or throw an interception plus 155?
Oh.
It's so hard to go minus 110 here. I'm going to say throw an interception. I'll stay on it.
Double down.
I'm going to double down on it. Give me the interception. I do think you're right, Brad, though, in the sense that they're going to try to make this pretty easy for him to start, especially when you're going up against a base defense. How do you just, if anything, at the bare minimum, when you leave this preseason, the goal should be make Jordan Love more confident than he was heading into the preseason.
Yeah, don't put him in a position where he feels like he's got to force it or, throw an interception. That would be one thing that would be nice for him to take from Aaron Rodgers' career, is he was very protective of the football. I think that's a great trait for quarterbacks to have, of course, but we were used to Brett Favre who said, I'll sling it in there. I'm not throwing the ball away. I'm going to go with a touchdown pass. I just do not see LaFleur setting him up for failure, and I think everything's about building his confidence and getting him in the rhythm. Give me the touchdown pass.
All right, final Jordan Love questions here. It's going to be a double one. The first one is his first complete pass will be over or under 7.5 yards, and then we're looking for the total passing yards, which is over or under 67.5. So first pass 7.5, total passing yards 67.5.
I'm going to say under on the first pass. I will say I'm going to say over overall on the passing yards. I think if they can get him into a rhythm, you just keep throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and a lot of that's a function of how long he actually plays for. I think if he plays for 3 or more series, I could see 67 or more yards. I'm actually going to go with more on the first pass. I think that I can see him doing a slant. Looks like he's been hitting those in stride with the guys pretty well. Or maybe a very well-designed open running back in the open field. And I just feel like that's a recipe for 8 yards. 8+. So give me the over.
All right, let's do a couple about the players. Christian Watson, do you expect him to play that much, over or under 19.5 receiving yards?
I'm going to say, I'll keep going over. I'll go over. I'll say he throws an interception, but he gets some yards here. That's my Jordan Love predictions.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm going to go with under. I just think the ball gets distributed more, and I don't know, just give me under on that one.
And then everybody's favorite tight end, Lucas Musgrave, over or under 24.5 receiving yards.
Is he Lucas or Luke?
I don't know. Luke. I might have just added Lucas on my own.
I'll say under on Musgrave. Again, that's the guy that I think everyone is, I feel like I can predict his career already, right? The expectations are so high. He's actually going to have a decent rookie season if people are going to be down on him. And then his second year, he's going to exceed the down expectations because people are going to think that he was after his first year. Like, it's really, really, really difficult to have a great rookie year or even a good rookie year as a tight end.
I totally agree. And for this particular game, I'm going to go with under. I just feel like they're going to distribute the ball a little bit more, try to get a lot of guys involved. And, man, you're right, the speed and physicality, and the tight end deals with both of that, right? Speed and physicality on both fronts. It takes some time for a tight end to get in there and get his feet underneath him. So, no doubt, he's looking like talented, and I like the pick. I think it might take a minute.
I ask about it every time. Jordan Love pill sling. Since it's preseason, we're going to set it at 0.5. Over or under 0.5.
Oh, it's an over. That's an over.
Okay, and please define to me a pill swing.
Pill sling
is... The Supreme Court once said about pornography. It's like you know it when you see it,
Okay.
But, Josh, you give us your explanation.
I was going to exactly say that. You know it when you see it. It's a throw that makes you go, huh. You fit it into a nice spot there, basically. And the determination of it lies entirely inside my brain when I feel like determining something to pill sling. So it's kind of a moving target.
And the over-under is 0.5?
Yep.
What was your answer, Greg?
I went over.
Wow,
I think we're
going to see
at least. I think we're going to see at least one pill sling from him. I think there's going to be a wow throw from him. I think there's going to be a couple of throws where people are like, I think we're going to get both ends of the gamut.
If you're going to believe the Packers Twitter account, they've been advertising a couple of these pill slings. So
that's true.
A couple of those Romeo Doubs, seaming up the sideline. I think we see one of those. Give me one. I think we're down for one. I don't think there's many more than that. One good pill sling, and when I see it, I'm going to know it. Now that I know, I got the verbiage down.
Yep.
And I got the verbiage down.
It's a pill sling. Thank you, Joshy, for the very first Green Bay props and preview. Do want to give a shout out to American Family Insurance, amfam.com, to find your local American Family Insurance agent, whether it's auto, whether it's renters, whether it is homeowners insurance. See how AmFam can help protect the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve, especially if you're a first-time homeowner getting ready to be a first-time homeowner. I can't recommend AmFam enough, especially given their digital home quoting tool, the app. Everything makes choosing insurance really simple, but it's not just the technology they provide you to help making that easier. It's the policies designed specifically for you, and the best part about it is you get to work with an agent, a local agent, somebody in your community, somebody you get to build a relationship with, somebody you know, somebody you trust, you can ask questions to, and when it's time to submit a claim, they can guide you through every step of the process. That's my experience with American Family Insurance. You'll get the same one. Go to amfam.com to find your local American Family Insurance agent. And remember, when you protect both your home and auto with American Family, you can save up to 28%. We'll send you off to the weekend the right way. Plus, Ron and the Key just dropped off what looks like a full glass of bourbon for me here at Magoo's. So,
that's eye-popping.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next on Scalzo and Brust. Live from Magoo's on the Mount, 59th and Blue Mound. We're presented by Bud Light.
You're listening to Bud Light, Scalzo, and Brust.
So that was the last full book you read?
Oh, 1,000%, yes.
In high school, you believe?
Yeah, so that would have been 2010. When I graduated.
So 10 years ago. It's been a decade since you read a full book.
I'm starting to realize that people read books.
Subscribe and listen to full show podcasts available free on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
The place where you make your wildest food fantasies come true. The place where you take a ride on the iconic Giant Slide. The place where you smell all the smells? That's right. It all happens at the Wisconsin State Fair. From August 3rd through the 13th, head to State Fair Park for some summer fun. Get your tickets at wistatefair.com.
Woo!
I am thirsty today. Definitely going to need a cold one. There's the one. Today on Ben's Beer Fridge, we're going with one of my favorites and getting in the fall spirit with the pride of Clover. That's Oso Brewing Company. Our guy Mark Buter is here to spread the Oktoberfest cheer as I crack open an Oso O-Fest and learn all about it.
Our Oktoberfest is very traditional lager beer, very easy drinking. But when it comes down to our Oktoberfest, we're real serious. I mean, Oktoberfest is Vienna, Munich, and Pilsen malt, and that's it. But by doing it really traditional and nice, people keep coming back. And it means that football's coming. And that's what's super exciting about Oktoberfest. It means football's right around the corner.
Thanks again to Oso Brewing Company owner Mark Butera for hopping on and telling us all about the Oso O-Fest. And remember, folks, whether it's hot summer months or the breezy fall weather, the fridge should always be stocked.
Announcing the former All-Star Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek. And the former John Paul's Buick GMC is now the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters. Greg Cunis was recently named Time Magazine's Wisconsin Automotive Dealer of the Year. Plus, Cunis dealerships have been awarded Top 100 Best in the U.S. by the Automotive News the past 9 years. Our mission is to bring the Cunis Auto Group's unequaled customer satisfaction and service to our friends in the greater Milwaukee area. Cunis Milwaukee Buick GMC stores have the area's largest pre-owned car, truck, and SUV inventory with over 3,000 vehicles available on lot or online and always at a price and payment you can afford. And all new and pre-owned Cunis vehicles come with our exclusive no-fear lifetime warranty coverage at no extra charge. So buy like a champion at the all-new Cunis Buick GMC of Oak Creek, 7020 South 27th Street, or Cunis Buick GMC of Greenfield, 3615 South 108th Street. Milwaukee's Buick GMC headquarters.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's right, folks. Great Lakes Dragway's 2023 race season is in full swing. Come out to see our annual events like Memorial Day Weekend, Labor Day Weekend, Nitro Streetcar Brawl, Import Wars, Larry's Fun Fest, and Bug Fest. Looking for something new and exciting? Come see the Night of Fire Jet Show. Want the track all to yourself? Email or call about a private track rental. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com for contact information and our full season schedule. Great Lakes Dragaway, just a burnout west of I-94 on County KR. Be there.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's free beer and free pizza Friday on Scalzo and Brust. Stay tuned to win a case of beer from Ben's Beer Fridge and the overtop deliciousness of a screamin' Sicilian pizza. Whew, it's so screamin' good.
Less than 5 minutes away from the start of the Jordan Love era in preseason. A huge thank you to Magoo's on the Mountain for having us out here tonight, today. Fantastic food. Stop by, check out everything they've got going on throughout the Packers season. Brad, thanks for filling in the last couple of days. You got a big weekend ahead of you.
I do have a big weekend. We have something called the Chuddy Cup, which is two buddies of mine, one guy named Chad, another guy named Nutty. Put that together, you get Chuddy. It's 30-man teams. There's going to be 60 dudes descending on a golf course to do 54 holes. It's a lot of fun. My game starts to deteriorate. Rules such as if you want a mulligan, you have to take a shot of Fireball. It's chaos. It's fun. I need to get good sleep tonight, though, because Sunday night I'm going to be beat. But it'll be a fun weekend.
Well, best of luck to you. Big thank you to you for subbing in the last couple of days. It is Free Beer and Pizza Friday. This week we're giving away Oso O-Fest, Oktoberfest, plus, of course, fabulous Palermo's Pizza. Caller number 1 in Madison. Caller number 1 in Milwaukee, 800-990-ESPN, 800-990-3776. Have a weekend, Wisconsin!
The mess on 43 continues. The southbound side remains closed. All lanes blocked at Good Hope Road due to that crash. We're